See anyway. On the left, we have Charles. He is playing Green-White Tron. Second Charles of the evening. On the right, we have Carl. You might remember him from last week. He was playing Blue-Red Storm. This week, he is playing Elves. That should be a good one. Let me fix this a little bit. I'm going to bring up some deck lists. These are old classics, but these decks tend to change over time. Let's take a look. For those curious, I'm using MTG Goldfish, and just looking at the metagame breakdown. Looks like Mono Green Tron is more popular than Green White at the moment. Green White should be on here too. But this website is a great resource if you're trying to price your cards or look for deck lists. Watch Saffron Olive videos. It's awesome. Alright, we found Elves. Tron is just Tron, I assume. And the new Elves lists seem much more of like a beatdown strategy. Obviously, they don't have access to some of the banned cards like Glimpse of Nature, some of the legacy cards like Cradle or Nature's, what are they called? The 4-drop sorcery that searches your library for Craterhoof Behemoth. So it's not a Craterhoof Behemoth strategy. It is a play dudes, play lords, pump them, and attack strategy. Much more honest method of gathering. They do have Shaman of the Pack, which is going to come down and drain his opponent for a bunch. We shall see. Opening hands have been drawn. Carl looks like he's thinking about it. He's not going to keep. Going down to 6 on the play. Charles decides to keep. Likes the 7. What about Charles's list? Green-White. It's an interesting take on Tron. Gives you definitely some good sideboard cards. Otherwise, I imagine it's just the Tron staples. I'll have to see what comes out. I'm not sure how good the white cards will be against Elves, but we'll have to see. Getting ahead of myself, though. First, it's time for game 1. Carl needs a good 6 here. Come on, Carl. He's got green sleeves on his Elves deck. I like that. And Elves of Deep Shadow, interesting choice. You're also the only person I can heal. A little bit of an off-meta choice there. And I actually spoke with Carl last week about Elves in general, because we had another player playing it. He was saying that he likes Elves of Deep Shadow in place of, I believe, Heritage Druid, just as a faster starting card. But Carl was actually on the draw. Looks like Charles will go first. Plays a map, passes the turn. We go to Carl. Forest, Elves of Deep Shadow, Sega. Elves of Deep Shadow, it's a very old card, reprinted in 10. No, maybe it wasn't Ravnica. Anyway, it tefts are black and deals you 1 damage. Charles is just going to map for the Mine. There it is. That's going to give him Tron. He's going to have 7 mana next turn, which is scary. We're staring down a card. Or something like a Worm Coil. Elves of Deep Shadow, Llanowar Elves, beats. Attacking for 1. Carl. With 3 1/1s in play. It's looking pretty scary. Very fast turn 3 Tron for Charles. Carl's going to need something special. Or Charles is going to need to have not much good this turn. Well, it looks like that might be the case. We've got a star. And sacrifice it. Still floating one. No colorless. Draws. He's floating a green here, I imagine. Plays the Ancient Stirrings. Now he's going to dig for something to do with all this mana. Looks like... Is that a Worm Coil? Perhaps. Should have stronger lights next week, so these things will be easier to see, and I look forward to that. For now, we'll just speculate as to what he sees. He will have to reveal it in a moment, so we will get to know. the tank here. He's got options.
We are taking the shit to
There's a lot.
Let us see. He is going to get Worm Coil Engine. That is the promo, pre-release promo one, so different art, but it is a Worm Coil Engine. And as well as an Oblivion Stone, which is pretty sad for Carl. His whole strategy relies on building up a board. And Oblivion Stone is going to shut that down. I'm going to get that on the screen for you. Sacrifices it. He can sacrifice it to blow up the world, effectively. And thus the world was destroyed. Get rid of that Eidolon. 5 mana, destroys everything. He can even put fate counters on stuff if he wants to save it, but here he's just going to use it as an 8 mana All is Dust, effectively. 8 mana Wrath of God. Sounds like a bad deal, but when you've got 7 mana on turn 3, it's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. Carl attacking for 1, leaving back 2 of his dorks, so he's got a 4 mana instant. It's Collected Company, ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? It's gotta be, right? It is the 4 mana instant that they play. Charles should know this. Just leaving it up to disguise what he's going to get. It's also going to protect his Archdruid or Azuri from any potential removal spell Charles might want to play. Any sweeper or activation of the O-Stone, but he's just going to leave that activation up. And now Carl has to think, does he really want to play a Collected Company into an active O-Stone? And he thinks not. Charles likely is going to activate this O-Stone end of this turn, and then he plans to untap and play Worm Coil Engine next turn. And for that reason, Carl's plan is just to leave up. He's just going to leave up Collected Company so that the moment Charles decides to commit to activating O-Stone, he can then float some mana. So yeah, float. He's going to take 1. Everything dies, but now he's got 2 mana. Tap mana, play Collected Company.
I feel like you guys are not utilizing your abilities.
That way the Collected Company's creatures don't die to the O-Stone. Unfortunately for Carl, these creatures will probably not be as powerful as the Worm Coil Engine, which is about to come down. Let's see. Azuri and Elvish Archdruid. Those are 2 of the better ones. Archdruid is a lord. It taps for a number of green mana equal to the number of elves you control. Azuri, 5 mana overrun, and 1 green to regenerate target elf. Another target elf, it cannot regenerate itself. Very powerful effect. But in the face of a Worm Coil Engine, it's a little awkward. That thing, even though Carl can regenerate whichever elf he blocks with, or the Worm Coil Engine blocks, it's still a little rough. And Path of Exile is the white card in the main deck. This white splash paying off here for Charles. He's able to pass the Azuri, which is fairly threatening. Not so much with Carl's board being empty, but this putting Charles in a really good spot. The Archdruid itself is not much of a threat when there aren't any other elves in play. Carl has 1 lonely Archdruid facing down a giant scary pre-release promo Worm Coil Engine. Does have 6 cards in hand though, 5 or 6, so he still has some resources. Yeah, looks like 6. He did spend some turns doing nothing, kind of setting up. Just gonna play Azuri and pass, thanks to the ramp that his opponent gave him, and now Carl's Archdruid taps for green, so he can regenerate it with the Azuri if he wants to chump block the Worm Coil Engine. Charles still gets to gain 6, but it's better than nothing. He's going to gain 6 either way. And we don't have light titles yet again. So maybe I should interject and do something about that. Charles is about to go up on life, but It really aids the commentary to have the life totals because it makes the decisions a lot more clear. So I'm gonna go make them do that real fast. I'll be right back. Board games. They get you. I don't know where these things are.
So I'm pretty sure that card.
You can see life totals. Carl is doing what I predicted he would do. He's gonna block and then tap it to make mana and regenerate it.
What's it?
And Charles will gain 6. And maybe they're discussing how Death Touch works. This regeneration will work. They are calling a judge on this. I am going to go see what they're asking and see what the judge decides. So I will be right back and I will update you with that. Charles just checking that a single regeneration shield would protect the Elvish Archdruid from damage because Wormcoil Engine has Death Touch. Spoiler, it does. Oh, hey, Ian Dodo in the chat. What's up? Joining us for our final round. Good to have you, man. We are playing some Modern. We have Carl playing Elves on the back foot here in Game 1 against Charles. Playing Tron. He's got a Wormcoil swinging in. Here we go. Carl, though, exploding onto the board finally. 2 Archdruids, Heritage Druid. He's got mana. His Unsick Archdruid tapping for potential 6 mana. And Zuri getting it for 4. So he's fighting back for sure. He even can put regeneration shields on all his elves in case of an Oblivion Stone. So that turn pulling Carl back a little bit. After that interesting judge call, we actually have a game. Ian, we don't have a Discord set up, but I actually really like the idea. So that is a feature that I would like to get going in the future. I don't have it for us this week, but I will consult the powers that be. That's a really good idea. All right, so Charles, mapping. We've this is our second week streaming, so we're still setting up, figuring out technical issues and stuff. Still got a little bit of glare, a little bit of fuzziness because the lights aren't bright enough, so there's more work to be done, but I believe that... Okay, so he fetched out a Ghost Quarter and then activated it in Carl's draw step. Yeah, but I think having a Discord is a great idea. Getting another Forest here. Not a Swamp. I guess they don't play basic Swamp because they just need all their mana to tap for green on turn 1. So currently Carl no longer has access to Shaman of the Pack, which is why Charles decided to search out and activate the Ghost Quarter. So that's really heads up play from him, knowing that Carl likely does not have a Swamp in his deck. He doesn't want to get drained out here. So the question is, does Carl have profitable attacks? I believe he absolutely does. Now they're Archdruid. He's going to overrun for a billion. This might be lethal, in fact. Let's see. Wormcoil's going to jump in the way, and it's going to gain 6. But unfortunately, okay, wait, I can fix this. Hang on. Let's just move. There we go. Special science technology here. The phone is not on the battlefield. Apologize for that positioning. Blocking the Azuri here because it is the only one who cannot be regenerated. And I'm going to go... Yeah, no, this is okay. Tapping both Archdruids, activating Azuri twice, giving all his creatures +6/+6. Total +8/8 because +9/9 because of the 3 lords. So it is 11. That's a 1/1 token. That's 10, 21. And it also gives him trample, and he's trampling over for another 3. It looks like 36 damage. And that's going to do it. Wow. Crawl. Looked like a pretty rough start, but he was actually able to really explode on that one turn. He was playing it very patiently. Playing around that Oblivion Stone, building up a hand. Waited for Charles to be out of sweepers and then just exploded on the board. Set up lethal with multiple Archdruids and Azuri activations and taking that game. Very impressive. I'm going to be back in 1 second. Now that I've adjusted the camera, I want to move the life total. So give me 1 second. My sound wall left. They were an important element.
That's alright.
I am back. Oh, cool, Ian. Be nice to have you back again. We play Modern on Monday nights. Maybe you can make it out sometime. But it's good to have you here on the stream. And I appreciate your feedback about Discord. I think it's a great idea, as I said. Alright. Anyway, let's think about sideboards here. I assume the Tron deck is... I don't have a deck list for the white one. The white splash. I assume he's going to be bringing in some sweepers here. You definitely need to take all those little green dudes off the board. Spatial Contortion is a consideration. Just as an instant that's going to remove creatures. As well as maybe additional paths. I don't know if he plays the full complement of 4 in the main deck. As for the Elves deck, looking at his sideboard, Shaper's Sanctuary is already a card we saw tonight. We might consider bringing that in against single target removal. Really interesting new card from the Ixalan block, I believe. We could also see some combination of Rex Sage, Assassin's Trophy, or other permanent removal spells. I expect Assassin's Trophy to be a good... Oh, audio's a little quiet. Thanks for that feedback. I'm going to turn myself up a little bit. I had it down earlier because there was a lot of background noise going on. But I've turned myself up. Let me know if that's better, North Sea Koala. Good to have you in stream as well. Ian, looks like you're more of a standard and EDH player. Me too, man. I play mostly casual EDH these days, but still like following the competitive scene. Watching Magic players better than myself engage in games. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Koala. Yeah, before I had... We're a game store, so there's usually just a ton of people in here playing games, and I was worried the mic was picking up too much of the random noise, but it's quieted down quite a lot, so I can turn myself up. Maybe my logic doesn't make sense. Maybe I should have been even louder to talk over those people. Look, I don't know. Looks like Koala agrees about playing EDH. It's just the format, like... Once you burn out of the competitive scene, I feel like it's the format that you can keep playing even after you don't care about winning games of Magic. And it's a great place to experiment with new stuff, and I play with my niece and nephew online. It's a great way to connect with them, and I just troll them with like Taniwa decks and Allura decks and stuff. It's a good time. What do you guys play in EDH? Looks like both players are mulliganing, I think. Unless I missed something. And they're both semi-combo strategies, so I don't know if anyone is really advantaged by them both mulliganing. We'll see. Going to 6 here. This is the like lull in the stream. I'm actually gonna go to me. Hey everybody, I'm Garrett. I'm your hairy host. This is the lull in the stream, like watching especially as a single commentator rather than a co-cast, like watching them shuffle. It's like, I'm gonna think of something to say for this, I promise. Alright, 6 cards, both scrying, both keeping. We got real magic here. Looks like North Sea Koala plays Kess and Izoni Aristocrats. I don't even know, man. Those are new cards, right? It's so hard to keep up sometimes. Izoni, I'm gonna look that up, man. Alright, turn 1 Llanowar Elves. Charles had a turn 1 map and activate, so he's gonna have turn 3 Tron again. But we saw Carl able to fight through that. He's gonna play his dude generating elf. He's got 3 elves already. It's a good start. I could see an Archdruid coming down, creating like a big beatdown right out of the gate. Let's see what Carl wants to do in his next turn, or Charles wants to do in response to this. Blood Pod, competitive EDH deck. Well, I'm gonna look on MTG Goldfish to see if I can find that. Later. Good suggestions. I'm looking for something new to play. Yeah, solo cast is rough. I'm getting better at it. Like, it's just a matter of experience, right? Like, I'm new to this. I'm not perfect. Alright. Looks like... Let's focus on the game. Okay, so Karn came down, exiled the quote-unquote Black Source, the Cavern of Souls. But combat is going to deal with the Karn. So it was really just an expensive... oh, Lord. Carl's seen enough. Ugin hits the table. Charles says minus. And then Carl says, good enough for me. Let's go to another game. He had already committed to the board, right? Like, he already played out most of his hand on the board. And then having it all removed at once, while Ugin gets to remain on the table, that's too much. Alright, so we're already going to game 3 in our final match. That's exciting. I'm going to go back to me. Hey, everybody. I'm working on the solo cast thing. I'm working on definitely appreciate feedback as well. I want to improve the stream, make it really good, but I don't expect to just know it all right away, you know. It takes practice. So here I am, learning stuff. Alright, game 3. Maybe Carl can do stuff before the Ugin hits the table. That would be cool. It is a scary matchup for him though, right? If all you need to scoop is to have fewer than 3 cards in your hand and an Ugin in your opponent's hand, seems pretty rough. I mean, that's going to happen a lot of the time. We could just Ancient Stirrings for Ugins all day. So Charles wrapping up game 2 very fast. And we'll go to a game 3. It's a good hand. Looks like 2 lands and maybe a map. I expect he will keep. But Carl, I see forests and elves, so he will also likely keep. Let's see. Charles is debating it, I believe. Nope. It's Carl who wishes to mulligan. Perhaps only 1 land. Oh, I appreciate that, Koala. Do my best. Carl going to 6. We saw him go to 6 in game 1 and win anyway, though. Believe in him. This man knows what he's doing. It looks like it's going to be a third explosive start for 3 games in a row for Charles. Really drawing well with this Tron deck. That's what separates the good players from the bad ones, am I right? You can just land a turn 3 Tron every game. Damn, you're good at Magic. Here we go. Going to 6. With elves. Come on, Carl. Take my energy, man. You got this. 6 cards. Lands and spells. Oh yeah, okay, we're keeping. Scry me on top. It is awkward if this is Verdant Catacombs. Nope, he's gonna scry on bottom. Forest. And some kind of elf. Heritage Druid, it looks like. Not the best turn 1 elf, but it's a dude. We see Ugin already is in Charles's hand. Koala, there is a schedule, so We are just starting right now with Monday night, 6:30 EST PM. It's going 6:30 to about 10 o'clock on Monday nights. That is the base, and we're launching that way. Our plan is to build up the stream with just Modern. The store, we're coming at you live from Redcap's Corner in West Philly. And we do also have a weekly Legacy tournament that's fairly popular. And we like to stream that as well. Legacy content is pretty hard to find, I think. So eventually we will be adding on a Wednesday night stream as well. But for now, it's just going to be Monday nights at 6:30. I'm at you live every Monday night. And I will add that to the stream description when I post these YouTube videos on Wednesday. We're also launching our YouTube page. This is the first real week, so, we're new to this, but we're going to build it up over time. Looks like I distract myself for 1 second, and these guys play so fast. Looking back, Carl already exploded on the board yet again. Looks like he was able to wreck Sage a map before Charles was able to activate it. He had to spend a whole turn playing another map, and now he's going to have to spend a whole turn activating it. Meanwhile, Carl has used his Heritage Druid to generate a ton of mana and dump his elves on the battlefield. Ooh, thanks for the link, Ian. Looking good. Play something like this against my niece and nephew, make them cry. Kiki them out. Alright. So he's in the tank here. Does he want to spend his whole turn mapping is the question. He will. But I think Carl may have slowed him down just enough that he's going to be able to go off here. Charles already at 14. Staring down, what is this, 6, 7, 8 damage next turn? Staring down 8 damage already. And one Archdruid amplifies that damage significantly. It could, in fact, it would be exactly 14 if he just plays Archdruid. I believe he could attack for lethal. Playing a star. Charles, he's going to have 8 mana next turn for the Ugin. But he might be dead already. No! Assassin's Trophy! Being land destruction. Brutal shutdown from Carl. He's going to take this home. Getting in. Take 8. Slap you for 8 with his elves. The Assassin's Trophy being pivotal here. That ability to Stone Rain on the card is really what makes it so good in this format. Shutting down those Tron lands. Assassin's Trophy removes any card. In our standard turnout, I'm not super familiar with it recently. But I know it hasn't been amazing. It definitely fires, but it's not as big as our other events. I think Standard Showdown is starting again, though, and the free packs that we give out for that really boost attendance, so hopefully it's going to be good. I will get back to you on that. I do not work that shift. Looks like we got Mitchell in chat too. Mitch, I'd love to have you join me for a guest cast. A couple people in for color commentary is really nice to have. Alright, back to the game. Charles is trying to dig out of this. He's in a rough spot. He's facing down lethal. Does he have a 3 mana spell that's going to be able to stop lethal incoming damage? I don't know if that even exists in his deck. He could path the 2-1 or the 2-2. We keep him alive. We have Walking Ballista for 1. For 2 because he had one floating still from his star. So he's going to be able to block something and ping 2 other things. And that will keep him alive for a turn, but he's not setting up for the Ugin after the instant speed Stone Rain came down from Carl. Carl doing some math, doing some arithmetic here. Is this lethal? Blocking that token making elf. Pinging the Heritage Druid and the 2-1. These seem correct. Chump the 2-2. Take 3 power off the board and take away your ability to Heritage Druid for unfair mana advantage. Going down to 3 is Charles. Carl just has to play a dork and pass. Charles has another opportunity here to sweep the board, but does he have enough mana to do it? He's got that tower in his hand, but it does not complete Tron. What can he do? 3 life. Facing down 6 on the board. He needs 3 blockers. 1 green. Maybe he's going to stir for another Walking Ballista. He could go stir, find Walking Ballista, play a land, play Walking Ballista, chump your 2/2, remove 2/1/1s, take 2, go to 1. And maybe set up to play the Ugin next turn. If he luckily top decks a land. It's basically his only out, I believe. I see him chuckling, looking at his cards. Okay. He says star, rebuy. But now his number of outs is reduced. He can no longer... I don't believe Walking Ballista saves him anymore. He's still taking 3 if he only plays the Walking Ballista on 1. Yeah. Mitch, I think it was just walking, like his dig for Walking Ballista, but now he needs 4 mana for the Walking Ballista, so that's not even going to do it. Make white, draw a card. It's a brush land. That's not going to do it. Plays this tower. He's got 3 mana. I can't even think of a card in Magic the Gathering that would save him for... Let's see. Okay, he's got a path. And another path? Still takes 3 and he's going to die. That's going to do it. Carl, winning in 3 games. Amazing series. Showing the power of Assassin's Trophy. Really beefing up the sideboard of the Elves strategy. And disrupting Tron players in Modern. Makes it a less dominant strategy when all the green-black decks can play essentially Stone Rain that also kills your Planeswalkers. Really impressive showing from Carl. Well played all around. Super fun match. My name is Garrett. This has been Monday Night Modern at Redcap's Corner. We're streaming live every Monday night at 6:30 until 10. Live from West Philly, and I'm a little tired after streaming those matches, but I'm excited as always to be here, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks for showing up in the chat in round 4. It was nice chatting with everyone. I hope to see you all next week. And